Breaking news! Aaron Sorkin has a new show called The Newsroom. We've all just seen it. Sean, why don't you start?
All right, well, The Newsroom is a new one-hour drama series on HBO. The showrunner, of course, is Aaron Sorkin, who did Sports Night and The West Wing and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. It's set in New York City in 2010, actually, so 2 years ago. And it's a one-hander starring Jeff Daniels as a news anchor named Will McAvoy. I must say that I'm not the world's greatest Aaron Sorkin fan, so I can't, base my opinion of the show on that.
Shame on you.
Well, I like him all right. I do think, though, that this feels tailored specifically toward his fans, if you will. People who like Aaron Sorkin are really gonna like this.
I'm very lukewarm about this show. It's just I do like Sorkin, though, unlike you, Sean. I agree with you, though. It's a very Sorkin show. There's political drama, there's sarcastic, witty dialogue. Sometimes it's so fast I can't even really pay attention to it completely. That's just very Sorkin, and so I guess I agree with you.
But I gotta say, West Wing, I never had those problems. The pilot, the first part of it, you're trying to get into a TV show. You have to learn characters, you have to learn premise, you have to learn all these different things, and instead of, having a nice easing in moment, we start with this Q&A session.
The policies are, look up the definition, my friend, they're socialist.
By your definition, so are Ronald Reagan.
Oh, don't even start with the Reagan. That was the last great
American
president.
individualism can't
Sharon.
build roads. An individual...
Go on, just sorry, get it all out. Get it
Thank
all
you,
out,
since the
please.
question was addressed to me.
There's so much overlapping of dialogue that to me, it was really hard to get into.
One of my main criticisms of this is that I feel it's so tailored toward that manic dialogue, that sharp, quick-witted dialogue, that you lose individuals. You lose characters. I mean, it felt like to me every single character in this show was talking in the exact same voice, and I didn't really learn about what made each of them distinct.
With this show, I think some of the characters are distinct, but they're not consistently written.
Right.
You know, you've got the pilot, okay, and you've got the sharp, witty banter that's a little bit too quick in the beginning. Then, halfway through, that drops out, and you go into, this sort of gooey romantic thing where the pace gets so slow that the show, for a Sorkin show, almost becomes predictable. And then episode 3 is this weird hybrid of, really trying to smash those two things together, the newsy, smart stuff and, the gooey stuff. And it's these characters trying to hold these lines.
Which is odd for Sorkin, because here's a guy who's been in television for a long time. It's not like he's new to, this medium. And so it just seems strange how inconsistent it seems to go from episode to episode.
It tries too hard to be two completely different things. I think that at times it's got a very West Wing kind of vibe, very fast-paced, lots of political intrigue. But then it also tries to be very melodramatic and soapy with all of this, love triangle stuff. I would like one or the other, but just the fact that it's, so infrequently one and then so infrequently another.
It's trying so hard to please you. It wants to be everything for you.
It can't please everybody all the time.
It wants to fulfill all of your needs, your intellect and your heart.
I realize that, but it can't do all those things at once. So, helming this obscenely large cast, we have Jeff Daniels as Will McAvoy. He is the anchor of Newsnight. We have Emily Mortimer as Mackenzie. She is the executive producer, the new executive producer of Newsnight. Who else? Somebody take over. I'm tired.
We've got Allison Pill, the annoying one who plays Maggie, who's just been promoted.
You have her boyfriend Don, played by Thomas Sadowski, and you have a new producer, a senior producer who came with Mackenzie, Jim Harper, who's played by John Gallagher Jr. For the most part, the show is well cast. I think, kind of like Shakespeare, and I don't want to put Sorkin and Shakespeare in the same bubble, but not every great actor is a great Shakespearean actor, and I think not every great actor is a great Sorkin actor, because it is difficult to
Give him
have this...
some respect. Call it Sorkinian.
Sorkinian. It is hard to have this quick diatribe of the dialogue. I think Jeff Daniels does a good job. I think Sam Waterston, who's a great actor, is... I don't know. I don't think he's not really working for me.
I think it's the dialogue. I think it's the character, that his character is inconsistent. I feel like the people who are struggling, I think it's because the writing just isn't consistent.
She wants to come home.
Yeah, look, I don't blame her.
They don't have a job for her in Atlanta, D.C., or New York. Mackenzie, Line up any 10 people, 8 of them will tell you she's the best EP in the business, and the other 2 will be stupid.
It's somewhat episodic, though, at this point, in terms of the shifting genres that you talked about. It's a little harder to figure out where the story arc is.
I feel like the story arc is the battle that'll go on between the lower up news people and the the executives.
Right.
And the progression of long-term news events from 2010.
I feel like the show is perfectly structured. I just feel like it's not colored in well.
I think the actors are gonna have a hard time.
I every time I sit down and watch it, I'm excited and I really enjoy watching it, but there's like a moment or two in every episode where I'm just like, what are you doing?
Well, I think it's a show specifically for Sorkin fans. If you are one, you'll like it. If you aren't one, I don't know. But it does have potential, so I'm gonna give it a stream it.
I think the show can be a great show. It's not yet, but if it finds its footing, then it will be. For now, I give it a stream it.
Stream it.
When shows break, we cover them.
Witty pun about the news.